trying to be paranoid. And there are, of course, a lot of voices out there who say that, oh, well, now that we've been looking at this current wave of fintechs for several years, it really hasn't made a big dent. Part of that is kind of just large numbers, that somebody can grow for a few years, triple digits year over year, and you still don't really see them. But once you actually see them, it might be too late. The fintechs do change the industry, and have already changed, will change, depending on case by case. And our approach is to partner and actually go as far as enabling them to disrupt the industry, which means also disrupting us. And we think that if you look at other industries, that's how you have to play this. The other industries that have gone through a digital transformation. I think we're seeing improving, or actually in many cases rapidly improving customer experiences provided by banks. So if the only thing you do as a fintech is to have a better experience, banks will copy it. So you have to have, the business model has to be more disruptive. So if you look at some of the, for example, neobanks, if we call them fintechs, which they are, then somebody who can say that, well, with this new model, with modern technology, you can actually cut the cost base by half. Well, that's interesting, and that's truly disruptive. We're not the only bank who's been out there hiring designers, hiring people who come from the tech industry, and so that we can catch up on or bypass in some cases on the experience. A culture has to be the biggest challenge, and sometimes when you have fintechs where people have a banking background in that team, they understand that you got to take compliance seriously. You got to take certain risks seriously, and you at least have a basis of and in many areas, if as a fintech you don't have access to the banking infrastructure, you're out. So you got to play by the rules that actually are set by the regulators. Maybe the first one is people. So if the problem is culture, then you have to have in your own team people who can talk the same language. And one of the ways that we implement that is when we are hiring, we're looking for people who have a combination of startup and big company experience. So they can talk the language, they want to go fast like a startup, but at the same time, when they are treated first time in the big company way, they don't get shocked and just stop. The other advice I would give is really being paranoid and kind of that looking at, well, if somebody or something is growing or improving 100% or 200% a year, just play that forward 5 years. What does 20 times better look like? And can you compete against that, or should you actually partner with it in the early days already and be part of the learning? Fintechs also need to speak the same language with the banks, and like in any partnership, you have to understand what the others' business goals are, and how can you help your partner achieve those goals. And that has to be the starting point for any good partnership.